Peace, blessings, much respect, much love. It's your boy, the Ghetto Guru, aka Shango, coming back with another spiritual message. Hope all is well with y'all. Hope you're having a good day. If not, hope the rest of your day get better. But I got a spiritual message, so I'm gonna get right into it. So, lately I've been in my bag in my last couple of videos when I've been going like real, I guess you could say, kind of dark topics. I guess you could say that. So I feel like I'm on another roll with this video as far as when it comes to subject matters that are very dark. But they should be conversations that we should have anyway because they are a part of life. So, with that being said, the title of this video is going to be When You Got Blood on Your Hands, You Have to Pay It Back Someday. When you have blood on your hands, you have to pay it back someday. What am I talking about? I explain. So I'm going to use an example, and there's other examples as well, but I'm just going to talk about this specific subject matter and situation because a lot of people know about it when it comes to people that's into entertainment, music, and just overall personalities that are in front of the camera that we watch, podcast wise, videos, other stuff, etc. But I want to talk about the Gillie the Kid situation. Also, he changed his name to Gillie the King, but I'm just so used to saying Gillie the Kid. So the situation with him and the passing, not even the passing, but the murdering of his son, Cheese. So I believe that happened about a year ago now, or maybe it might have been a little year and a half. Time moving so fast. So, but I believe it was like a year and a half, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that. But anyway, that doesn't really matter how long ago it was, yeah, whatever, but it happened recently, not too long ago. So, when it comes to the entertainment business, the industry, no matter what you're talking about, music, acting, whatever entertainment business it is, there are always conspiracies. And especially these conspiracy deals with either these artists or these actors or whatever other profession they're doing in the entertainment field, well, entertainment umbrella rather. Sometimes they would come up mysteriously dead, or sometimes when it seems like they get ahead, meaning they get a new promotion or award or something, or some type of accolade or ranking in that field of entertainment, it appears that when they get that or before they get it, somebody close would pass or get killed or something, or just some craziness will happen, and then they will just get this sudden spotlight and fame and all this other stuff, right? So that's dealing with people talking about those conspiracies and stuff. And don't get me wrong, there's people that's doing some crazy, treacherous things to build their ranks up in the entertainment fields and to get certain accolades and awards. I'm not going to cancel that out. But I'm bringing this point up to show we could sometimes miss the spiritual aspects when we're looking too much through the physical lens in this 3D realm of Earth and the Matrix. We just see stuff for what it is instead of realizing, no, that could be an illusion, and everything that you see doesn't appear to be exactly what it is, or the cause of what you think is the effect of what you, you don't see the effect or whatever, the action rather, not the cause, the action that was done before that. We don't really look to see the effect beyond what we're really physically seeing, because that can be an illusion. That might not be what you really think it is, and you're not looking through the deeper lens of the spiritual. So I say all that to say, not too long ago, a few months ago, it's been revealed who was a part of that murdering of Gillie the Kid's son, Cheese. It was actually this teenager who was actually living a double life. He was a top recruit, being recruited in high school by top colleges and stuff like that all over the place. He was ranked, had a promising future and all that in basketball, but he was, for some reason, I guess environment, could be trying to fit in, could be all type of stuff. He was living a double life as a drill rapper. And if you don't know, drill rap consists of very explicit lyrics that are not just explicit, but very graphic and violent. And they are actually talking about crimes that they actually committed or are going to commit in the future of somebody, or smoking on somebody's dead that passed away. It's like really disrespectful. This is a description for those that don't know about that genre. But everybody should pretty much know about that if you're into music. But anyway, so he was living his double life as a drill rapper as well, outside of being a top basketball recruit in the country. One of the top recruits in the country, excuse me. And he would wear a Joker mask to conceal his identity. He didn't want anybody to know that he was in the streets too and doing this stuff as well, rapping and the stuff he was talking about. Then he didn't want his identity to be revealed as him doing that, because then he would lose all the scholarships and stuff in basketball. So he didn't want the two to be linked together. So why I'm bringing that up? So again, back to what I said in the beginning, in the entertainment fields, people, when they see them getting accolades or getting further ahead of something pretty fast, or a deal's coming, or just seem like they just rose up to fame out of nowhere, they was here and then overnight. And people usually associate this with sacrifices, especially when they had somebody that was close to them either get killed, murdered, sick, something, car crash, something crazy, right? So in this case, people were conspiring, the conspiracy theorists, that Gillie the Kid and his cousin Wallo, who he does the podcast with and a bunch of other things, business ventures, sacrificed his son, Cheese, in order for them to get that new deal that they had got for $1 million worth of Game podcast. Because they had just signed a new contract, I think, right before that happened to his son, around that time. So, of course, the conspiracy theorists going to come out and they're going to do their research, and they ones and twos, and what they do. They're going to be like, yo, he was just doing this. Now he up here. Oh, yo, he just signed a deal, and then the son died. Oh, you already know, yo, that's sacrifice. You already know how they go. They got another one, and you know how that go. And like I said, I'm not saying that there aren't treacherous people that do things in life, especially when they get into these entertainment fields, to get ahead or get certain awards and certain accolades or take certain people. I'm not saying that doesn't exist, but I'm saying sometimes that might not be the case all the time. And that's back to what I said about looking through life through the physical lens in the 3D realm and really trying to assess everything for what it is. And a lot of times what you're looking at is not what you think you're looking at, and it's really something else, but you got to put your spiritual lenses on to see that other side of what you're looking at, to really determine what it is and what's really going on the inside. So immediately people was always sacrifice, gave his son up, blah, 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 all that stuff. So I go back now to connect to the interview. In the interview, I don't know if everybody caught this, he brung up when he was in college. And for a lot of people that didn't know, he had a scholarship to play ball in college. So he was on a scholarship. But most recruits on scholarships, or just people in college overall, they don't have a lot of funds. So you're going to run low. A lot of times students get hungry when they run out of, if they even got a meal plan. Most people probably can't afford that, because you're going to take out more loans if you don't got a scholarship, or whatever the case is. You just run out of meal plan points, and you just got to thug it out to the rest of the semester, until the rest of the semester is over, rather, excuse me. So because he was coming from a poverty environment, and there wasn't really a lot of income coming out from the home because he was in a single parent household and he had other siblings. He was doing things in the street as far as running in people's houses and robbing them near campus and stuff where he was going to college at. So, but nobody really knew he was doing this. Him and Wallow was doing this. He put Wallow on about it. So one day, I think it was his roommate, I believe Gillie said. If not, it was a friend in college. But he was telling his friend was like, "Yo, how you getting this money and stuff like that?" And he told him like, "Yo," he told him what he was doing. Like, "Yo, basically be running up at people's cribs and doing what I do." So the college friend didn't believe him until Gillie showed him one day and was showing him what he was doing, and he put him down. Eventually, he put his friend down. Eventually, got him involved. Well, one day, something went wrong, whatever they was doing in the home invasion, and his friend, I guess I forgot, don't quote me exactly what the story went. Y'all could go watch the Club Shay Shay interview with Gillie the Kid. Something went wrong with the robbery, and whoever house they was at, the person ended up shooting Gillie the Kid's roommate, and his friend ended up dying. So here he is. He got to now explain, first of all, to his moms and everybody back home that didn't know he was living a double life as a college scholarship playing athlete. And on the side, he's doing home invasions and stuff and everything. And nobody knows about this. Now so that's one to his hometown and his parents. He got to explain that. His mother, he got to explain that to. And then he got to explain that to his roommate's family, who was not even in the streets at all and doing none of that. And he got him involved in that. And not only did he get him involved, he got him killed. Now let's go back to the sacrificing part where everybody was saying, "Yo, he sacrificed his son, As soon as I heard Gillie the Kid say that in that interview, it clicked in my head. I said, now it makes sense. Because I said, I don't know if he knows that or he put that together, but that's not a coincidence that Gillie the Kid was in college and that happened to his roommate, and he ended up getting his roommate killed, and he ended up getting kicked out of college, losing scholarship, all that stuff, living a double life in the streets and stuff like that. It's not a coincidence that years later, I don't know, 20, 30 years later, that his son gets murdered by not just a person that's in the streets, but a person that was living a double life in a top high school basketball recruit by many different colleges around the country to play ball for them. His son get killed by him. You see the connection I'm making? That's why I titled it, when you got blood on your hands, eventually you gotta pay. A lot of times, it's back to the spiritual lenses. Through the physical eyes, you're going to automatically think, oh, sacrifice. And like I said, I'm not saying people don't do that. But through the spiritual lens, when you learn the background story, you be like, oh, that was something in the past that he was doing, and now he got to pay the piper, basically. You got to pay that reaper, God, whoever you want to say. But that's the thing people don't get. See, people always talking about God and stuff like that, but they're not talking or understanding the universal laws and karma and all that. Or just, when you got blood on your hands, you have to pay it back someday. Whether you paying it to God, trying to right your wrongs and giving back or doing stuff and actually trying to get yourself right, or you going to have to give it to that reaper that's on the underworld that's like, yeah, you're going to have to pay up. So this is what I mean, spiritual lens. When you doing stuff, back in the days, could have been robbing, thieving, stealing, killing, drug dealing, whatever, treacherous stuff. If you was doing treacherous stuff that was harming people, whatever, having them hooked on drugs, bugging out, just destroying people's lives for your gain, it don't matter. it's gonna come back. It might not come back and hit you directly, but it's gonna hit something near you, somebody near you, something precious that you love that is gonna come back. And it ain't no time limit or when it's gonna come, so you don't know when it's gonna come. It's gonna come right when you get settled, right when you start getting paid, or you think, or you start doing. Cause listen, God gonna. You see that in the industry, a lot of these people came from selling drugs, or they came from this, or they was robbing and thieving and doing stuff back then, and now they changed their life and they trying to do something positive. So God gonna bless you because He know your heart. You know you trying to do right, feed your family. You got left the drug game alone, or the killing, the robbing, the thieving, whatever. And now you're gonna get blessed with whatever you trying to, you've been getting yourself right with and getting rid of out your life that was toxic, and actually doing right by people, trying to do right by by your own damn self as well, and do right with God. You gonna get your blessings if you stay on that narrow path of righteousness. But just remember, the scales of the universe and the karmic laws and all that gotta balance out. So if you was bugging like that, or killing, or taking lives and all that, yeah, you might get blessed because they thinking like, oh yeah, I'm on now, I got the money, I can feed my family, everything's good, I'm good now. Like, nah, the universal laws don't work like that. When you doing crazy stuff where you got blood on your hands from back in the days. Because guess what? That's exactly when it comes. When everything going good, you change your life, you doing legal stuff now, and that's when it comes, because it got to be exchanged. It got to be a balance of what the heck you was doing that wasn't karmically correct in those days. And even though you making the changes now, if you was doing something that out of pocket, was harming people, taking away from people, when you was doing that for years before you started doing right, just know that day is going to come, and we don't know what form is going to come, how it's going to come, what's going to happen, what you're going to lose, but something's going to happen. So when we seeing these people in entertainment business, or period, even in life, just regular life, ain't just entertainment business, you see this with people in your everyday life. If you seeing them gaining, but then they might lose somebody, lose something, yeah, you could, first thing to do is start to conspiracies and stuff. And like I said, I'm not saying that people don't do that. But also don't forget, these people had lives before they got on. And then listen to a lot of lyrics where they talking about, yeah, I used to rob, man, I used to do that. Listen to the foul, shicey stuff they be saying in their lyrics. Because they tell you all the time who they are. We just be bobbing to the beat. Listen to the foul lyrics, the shiciness and stuff. Come on, man. Listen to the names of the artists. Some of these names are shicey. And think, what the hell was they doing back then that this happened now? Also consider that on top of your conspiracies of automatically thinking, yo, sacrifice. First, think about that other side of the spiritual lens. Take the physical 3D lens, the spiritual lens. Like, I don't know who this person could have been back then, or what they was doing, or how much of that they said they was doing that was foul and effed up. So I don't know what type of wickedness they could have been doing that now is about to come back and take something from them, when they are now starting to get on the right path and actually receive the blessings and the sowings of their seeds that are positivity. Yeah. If you was doing that much, crazy gonna come back. You see it sometimes when people do small stuff. Dudes that be wilding with girls, violating all day. Sometimes dudes be the main dudes that have daughters. And that's one example I'm gonna give you, just on a lower scale or something that's like not just like we ain't killing nobody, but you still violating and disrespecting people. And if you keep doing that to a certain bit, yeah, you might change and stop doing that and respect the women, but it's gonna come back one day. Somebody gonna get your number and do you the same way and destroy your life, or something gonna happen or your life. Something. It always gotta balance out back to the universal laws. But in this case, it was a little more treacherous because it was dealing with streets and robberies and people getting killed. But I don't know if he made that connection to a self-good kid, but as soon as he said that in an interview, I was like, that's exactly what it was. So, yes, there are treacherous people that do these things, sacrifices and stuff, but I'm saying, also consider when you see something like that that looks a little fishy, just remind yourself, what was they doing back in the day that something could have possibly came back to them now, and that happened in their life? where it appears as a conspiracy and a sacrifice and they did something, now they just got all this accolades and fame and fortune. Also consider that too, like, they said they was doing this, robbing, thieving, stealing, and they was a problem back in the day, and maybe that's something coming back where they gotta pay back the blood that's on their hands, or used to be on their hands. So that's a message. I ain't even wanted to be this long, but it is what it is. So peace, blessings, much respect, much love. I love y'all. Always keep doing your thing. Stay focused, stay goal-oriented. And like I always say, whether we run, whether we jog, whether we sprint or crawl, because life is that hard sometimes. You can't run, you can't jog, you can't sprint. Only thing we can do sometimes is crawl to that destination. But like I always say, somehow, some way, we got to make it to our destination someday. So peace, blessings, much respect, much love. I love you always. If you're on YouTube watching this, please like the video, subscribe, hit that bell for all notifications, spread the word. And to the next topic, man, peace.